Border Barrel's back for another Beercast, and we're getting a bit delirious behind the microphones here. Another brewery showcase, and it's going to be BentSpoke Brewing. I am sure. It is from Australia's capital, but it is from BentSpoke.
I'm sure because I brought them, and they're going to be bloody awesome. Thank you to BentSpoke. We're going to get into some pretty cool stuff and some pretty cool beers.
Good luck, son. That's all I can say.
Nope. Border Barrel.
Damn it, when did you press record?
Nah, you missed it. But long story short, Hutto is wearing socks and sandals.
And being judged for it.
And being judged for it. And that's not what we're about. It's not what we're about here in the Not So Good Shed.
No, not from a fashion perspective. That's fine. Just it's a warm day. I thought you must be bloody sweaty feet.
It's beyond. We should get a little temperature gauge in here because it is red hot. It's absolutely red
fucking hot.
Well, that's why we drink beer. That's why we drink beers in here.
Well, bloody hell, we need to get some crack-lacking because bloody old Simon's thirsty. But I'm looking forward to this. So, Gracie, do you want to introduce?
Yeah, and this is really cool. So we've been very, very fortunate throughout this beer journey to have we've made friends with breweries, and we've had people send us stuff and give us some free stuff, and it's not why we do it, but of course we are very, very thankful.
That's why I do it.
That's why you do it, of course. Now, a little while ago, I went on a little family holiday, and first stop was nation's capital in Canberra. Went for a little nice Monday lunch at BentSpoke Brewing Co. And had a fantastic range of beers, which I've actually got the list of beers that I had while we were there, because they had some really cool stuff that, unless you went to the brewery, you wouldn't know about.
Plus the 12.
Now we know about them. We can talk about that. Yeah. Now we went went upstairs and had a bit of a look, because I'd been there a few times, but never actually gone upstairs. And one of the lovely young girls that works there, who, and I'm sorry because this was a little while ago, but I swear you said your name was Emma.
Shauna.
Yeah, I think it was Shauna. Sean. She looked like she was taking some photos for social media, so I just sort of mentioned what we do as well, and she was so stoked that she said, we would love to somehow be involved. Can I give you some beers? And you guys can do that for a podcast.
That's awesome.
I was like, of course.
No, of course you can.
Of course. So this is awesome.
No, that's great. Thank you. But
imagine Zach's just like, no, thank you.
No, I will drink these on the rest of my holiday.
No. Yeah, but just on that, we are very thankful for all of that sort of stuff, and we're super stoked to be doing this as a little hobby. So very excited to get stuck into these ones, and it's a bunch that I believe I haven't had. So
and for any brewery out there, I will sell my soul for free beer.
Okay, there you go.
As I mentioned, that's why I'm here.
Yeah. Let that be known.
And we've got some things. We've got some unique stuff on the pod today, because we've been doing this for over 100 beers now, and we are going to be enjoying, for our first beer today, our very first non-alcoholic, 0.5%.
So it's less than 0.5% because technically, according to the law, the process, there may be traces of alcohol.
Yes.
0.0 standard drinks, but it is a non-alcoholic IPA, known as the Freewheeler.
That's awesome. I've not tried this before. Jeez. I'm excited.
Neither have I.
Because of the weather, I think I want to be a free baller at this thing.
Well, at least they're below the desk.
Now, I'm excited for this because I generally don't drink a lot of non-alcohol beers, because as someone that mostly enjoys the beer on a weekend, I sort of generally don't see the point.
I just like to drink beer to get absolutely sloshed.
No, you like a little bit of a buzz is one thing, but sometimes you think you still think that higher ABV, more full flavour potentially, and that's generally, whether that's wrong or not, that's how I view it. So that's how I purchase.
Well, devil's advocate, can I dive in?
Absolutely.
I am a very frequent low and non-alcohol beer drinker. I bloody love it, because it's I think sometimes, so I'm the after work beer guy, like you're very much in footy season, you're very disciplined, that sort of thing. But you go home and it's quite a habitual sort of situation. You grab one out of the fridge and it's still got the delicious taste of the hops and all that sort of stuff. And I
think it's impressive when I still have maintained that the free time from Bridge Road is probably the best I've had.
Well, let's see. You're about to have another one. What do you reckon? Let's have a look. Get my scores here. What's your first impression, Gratz?
The smell is like juice.
Yeah? Give me a go.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Yeah,
very juicy.
Yeah, it is.
Oh no, did you read the blurb?
Oh no, I haven't, because we of course will be rating these on our Border Barrel scale.
Oh, I don't reckon this is a blurb. Can I look at the other can below the desk so you don't show the camera? But I think I just want to read what it says before.
This is, by the way, while they're doing that, this is excellent. This is fantastic. And as I was extending on what I was saying, I think the non and low alcohol beers are fantastic. Come home from work, you have a beer, it still gives you that sort of situation.
Well, it looks like we may have like a recurring blurb.
Yeah, so it's not really a blurb, it's a description of the brewery. The blurb, but it does have, now this is...
What about this?
Yeah, so that's just it's on same on all the cans.
Okay, sorry.
No,
I'm really sorry.
okay.
Please don't hurt me.
Well, we'll see what happens after the pod. I can't make any promises.
Right.
No, but it does have... Now, I'd like to get you guys... What you guys think of this. It doesn't have a blurb, technically, but it does have like a hops in a scoo glass. It's like towards the top, so it's hoppy. Malt is in the middle, so it's middle amount of malt. And then alcohol is an empty scoo. So is that a blurb? Because it's like, this is what the beer... This is the flavour profile of the beer.
Read the blurb on the can.
High hops, mid malt, no alc. Nothing worthwhile comes easily. Taking the familiar road can rob life of its flavour. So at BentSpoke, we take a more adventurous route. Knowing all too well that it'll bend a few spokes along the way.
Hey.
What does it say underneath that? Does it say anything?
Certified independent.
Oh, that's all right. Well, that's good. That's what we like to know.
Yeah, this is pretty tasty though. So what does it tell you? Can we look up a bit of information, see what the hops are and that sort of thing? Because I would be interested. Sure. It smells good. It does smell like juice.
It's juicy. It's funny because like I can get the hops, but I'm also I would say it says non-alcoholic IPA. I feel like it's maybe more from a pale perspective potentially, but that might just be me.
Yeah, what do you got?
The thought of sipping on a crisp, frosty beer isn't just about taste, it's ceremonial. A merry little dance that accompanies a million moments of fun, relaxation, and good old camaraderie. But there are times when you want all that taste, all that flavour, and none of the buzz. Drumroll, please. Introducing Freewheeler, BentSpoke's latest creation, a non-alc IPA. Many more... paragraphs. Trying to find hops and I can't.
Okay. Well, it might be...
Citrusy zest and tropical aromas harmonised with a subtle hint of caramel malt highlight this balanced brew. This blend of flavours isn't just a treat for the palate, it's a testament to the craft and dedication BentSpoke pours into every sip, because nothing worthwhile comes easily.
Are you going to count the blurb that's on the can, even though it's just for the brewery itself, or is that against the rules?
Well, I'm just going... Oh, well, I would have written a number, but my pen does not work.
How have we not fixed that yet?
I feel like what we've done in the past seems to be the general consensus seems to be like a 3.5 or something for...
Well, I've always done 3.5 for accurate description of what the beer is, but I've given it a 3 because that's not there, but there's a picture.
Yeah.
That could bump it up because I am a simple man.
True.
Pictures help.
Simple man.
But as advertised...
I've given it a 3.5 as advertised only because I still feel maybe it's more on that pale as opposed to Indian pale ale.
Yeah.
But I can still get a bit of hoppiness in there. But yeah, it's I could enjoy a few of those. I think on a Wednesday night, maybe making steak.
I better get a value for us because
I'm enjoying that.
We were blessed.
So we were blessed.
Yeah.
However, I've got the value, Hudson. I've got this all
look at
sorted.
you.
I'm enjoying that breeze.
The freewheeler. So if we're basically what I've done is had a look at their price for their 4 packs.
Yeah.
And divided it. So this would cost you
By 4?
$3.75
Oh, really?
Okay.
Jeez, that's all right.
as value.
That's an acceptable price for non-alcoholic beer.
Yeah, it is. It's well priced. I have to say, I went on the Bridge Road little tour was a couple of months ago now, and I learned that they're
5 for value.
So as far as best-selling beers, like obviously it's the pale, but the second by a country mile was Free Time.
Who's this?
Free Time's very good.
Bridge Road.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah. I found that quite interesting, but and it's an absolute cracker, but I think it's probably more of a comment to the non-alcohol sort of movement. There's a lot of Woolies and Coles and that sort of thing as well. They seem to sell quite,
Actually,
quite frequently.
So Guinness do non-alcoholic now.
Yeah, that
could be interesting.
Be interesting.
My favourite non-alcoholic beer that I've had in my journeys, Tiny by Garage Project. Fun fact about Tiny, so they do the blue one. That's the XPA, maybe. But the yellow one, which is the more flavourful, they kind of say, came third in Gabs, New Zealand.
That's huge.
Tiny.
Yeah, non-alcoholic beer.
So I'm sorry, I was writing my scores. Did you say that you have had it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Both
also
of them.
good?
There's two of them. There's
Okay.
a teal
orange
colour
one?
and then an orange one.
Okay.
But I was saying the orange one came third in Gabs, New Zealand.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Highest
so
100.
there you go. That probably
Third, fifth?
yeah,
One of them.
probably
Top 10.
leads into sort of what I was sort of saying there. So
We
that's good.
we need to go into a bit of info about the brewery.
Yeah.
Jumped into the first beer, but on June 6th, 2014, champion Australian brewer Richard Watkins and co-founder Tracy Margrain opened the doors to their highly anticipated brew pub in Braddon in the heart of the nation's capital. That weekend, punters drank over 3,000 litres of fresh, independent brews in the brew pub alone. And that was just the beginning. BentSpoke has now been bending the rules of beer for 9 years, with over 1,000 brews. Its flagship brew, Crankshaft, has been Australia's favourite IPA in the Gab's Hottest 100 for the past 6 years, 2 of which it came first overall. The brewery also received several awards and professionally judged competitions, including the AIBAs, the International Brewing Awards, and the World Beer Cup.
Now we can't get into
World Cup.
We can't get into the AIBAs because I'm telling you, I'm currently working with some officials, some government officials, debunking this because it's so important. Because I don't think there's been a beer. I reckon Hutto could have brewed a beer in the shed,
Bronze.
the Savo, bronze.
Everybody gets one.
Everybody gets one. No. Anyway, I would like to look a bit more into that because it just seems like every beer ever brewed has 15 medals from that particular organisation.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
They might. Maybe they do.
Well, maybe they do. Yeah,
Participation
that's
too.
true. I didn't anticipate that. Yeah, cool.
But yeah, so while Hutto goes to finish off that line, he's gonna go straight forward.
Yes.
Well, look, while I was there, I said I had a few beers, but I'll run through those as we go along. So, and these are in no order, of course, but one of the beers we'll discuss is the Bracked to the Ditch.
Yeah.
This beer is brewed using experimental hops from New Zealand as part of the Bracked Brewing program.
What's that?
We brewed an IPA to showcase the big, ripe, tropical fruit flavours that these hops produce. 7.2%. And I thought we'd give that a little Google. But that was the final beer I enjoyed on the day, and I've gone with it first. But yeah, it was a brewed beer.
Oh, so that's
on
not.
Sunday at
So that's not.
lunchtime.
I thought that was next.
The Bracked Brewing Program, NZ Hops Ltd, has launched its new Bracked Brewing Program, which takes trial hops and delivers them to select global brewers.
Cool. Brews News.
Yeah, but it was really good. So yeah, and there's I'll run through the second one, which was actually quite cool before we crack the next beer. The Prosecco. This is BentSpoke's take on Prosecco, utilising the is it Permeate? Is that what we've Permeate? Primate.
What's the second letter in the word?
Sorry, it's Permeate. It's P.
Yeah, there you go.
MEATE from the freewheeler separation process. It is then infused with light minerals, passion fruit, and mango, served in a wine glass over ice with mint and lime.
Whoa, there
It
you
is
go.
delicious. However, it has 3 hops in it. So I'm going to get you guys to guess what you think could possibly be a hop in a beer Prosecco that is served in a wine glass with ice, mint, and lime.
Nelson Savon.
No.
This is good.
What's that
exercise.
white wine one? There's like...
Like a white grape one you're talking
yeah,
about?
there is a... We've had it on the pod because we spoke about it and it was like...
Is it
It
what is
lent
it? Cosmic
itself
or
to
whatever?
wine flavours.
I'm only asking you to guess because they're 3 that we know very well, which surprised me a little bit.
Sabro.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Citra.
Sabro, and then...
Centennial.
No, so
No, that
Sabro,
would
one
be-
of our favourites, and then a very common one.
Vic Secret.
No.
What's our favourite? Citra.
Citrus are our favourite, but what's our second
Common.
favourite?
Mosaic.
Idaho
Mosaic.
7.
Okay.
Mosaic. And then one that's very common in most pale ales that we seem to drink. Starts with G.
What?
Milky Way Galaxy. So,
duh.
Sabro, Mosaic, and Galaxy hops in the
Pride of
Prosecco,
Ringwood.
which I thought was a
Yeah.
bit surprising because like I've had like hoppy beers with
Just keep
not that
going.
many hops in it. So that was it was only 3% as well, but it was very very tasty.
Yeah. So what did you think? Yeah, it was good.
It was it was great. Yeah. So Sophie went for lunch. She could have had a few more, but she was
What?
driving.
What's
Well,
this?
maybe she should have had some food and not a prosecco beer for lunch.
Yeah.
Well, no, she had food. I can't remember what she had. But.
Yeah, but you're the one. You just said she had it for lunch.
Well, yeah, liquid lunch. Anyway, our second beer. So this is, I believe,
was another second
BentSpoke's. We have to Google this one. So this is BentSpoke's. I suppose putting their left foot in of breweries, independent breweries doing their sort of like, I guess straight. Well, it says straightforward.
It's a beer.
Well,
It
it
literally
just
says
says
Ben
beer.
straightforward
A
beer.
draft,
So
yeah.
I would think it's their draft.
Well, it's like like Garage Project has one. Their cans just beer.
Yeah.
Here's beer.
Yeah. That's what I could smell. I was pretty pleased with that actually.
Drinkability full, flavour about half to 3/4, and then carbs, gluten basically none.
Yeah, it's quite light at the same time. I thought it'd be a bit heavier. But I'm
It's
quite-
almost see-through.
It's at 4% still, which is
well, like it's definitely
basically nothing in it from
Oh, I
a
see what you're saying.
nutritional perspective.
Like
but-
it's like it's like yellow tinted sunnies.
Yeah.
Now it's a warm day today, so this is one of those having 16 of them if you needed to, if you're at an event.
Well, do you have another 15 in the bag? 'Cause bloody
Let's
hell.
see if we can do
There's
it.
one more there.
Yeah. No, that's
Yeah. No, this is just their straightforward lager. Now, of course,
Is it a lager?
on I believe that it is, but on this podcast, we generally do try to grab really cool limited edition beers when we're seeking them out ourselves. This is a little bit different. These have been given to us,
Lager.
so we wouldn't necessarily pick this beer usually as a rule for our pod. So look, it may not get the best score in our rating system, which is fine, but absolutely love they've given it to us, and it's just a really easy drinking lager, and sometimes that is what is required.
Yeah, no, it's good.
And in
It's
this
good.
moment, that is what is required. We may have to borrow your texter. Sorry, Simon.
Yeah, that's fine.
We haven't fixed this problem.
I'll allow it.
I'll allow it. No worries. That's good.
This did had no blurb, hey,
No, not.
but it had a couple of pictures, but not the pictures we're after.
So what I think these beers are good for, so beer,
Drinking.
bends, all these sorts of things, they're very good for drinking. But I think that someone who isn't into craft who's a local to Canberra, say,
Oh, I'll get Belly in a
so
second.
they would pick it up and go, oh, look, I recommend this. It's just a beer, and they're like, oh, it's not too bad. I wonder what these. I have trust in the brand now. I wonder what those other beers sort of taste like, and then they might pick up like a Crankshaft or a Lake Barley Griffin or whatever else. I think that would
They
be.
still make that one. That
Yeah, I
one's
think
like
so. A
OG.
Sprocket, yeah. there's-
Sprockets,
Yeah, they've got
the
heaps.
green ones are my favourite.
Yeah.
Sprocket, that's my
So much.
go-to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for value, this equates into $5 a can.
For value. All right. Well, that's very good. I might change my Untapped.
I forgot what I was saying. Yeah, no. So I think of. Oh no, there's the pictures.
Yeah, the pictures are there.
I always like put two beers into two categories now when I try and describe it to people. Having like we're friends with the Goods Shed, I put beers in either the left taps or the right taps if you're facing the Good Shed bar. So for Good Shed regulars, the right taps, sorry, there's I think 10 of them roughly. They're your I drink lots of craft beer. I want to try something different. This is a beer style I've never heard of.
Yep.
The left taps are, do you like CUB beers but want to drink independent?
Yeah.
Or you
Come
have no
here.
other choice because you're here. Here's
Well,
something you may like.
But it's like Venom Refreshing Ale, Brookie, which I don't know if they're independent still, but maybe.
no, 4 pints.
They normally have a Hawker's beer. On
Yeah,
there.
like
Bright Pilot.
Bright Pilot. Like, I swear there was a Mid-Ale or something local, but yeah, that's like your. Hey, do you want straightforward? Like,
Yeah.
This is where you come to get beer that's beer, and then if you want to go a bit adventurous, go over there. So this sits in the left taps.
This sits in the function beer.
This is
category. Maybe we should have like a function beer as a.
But it's
Left
very,
hand.
but it's very nice. I like it. It's cool.
It is nice.
Yeah.
And on Untapped, the first line is, the beer you drink when you want to bend an elbow watching the footy, after mowing the lawn, or soaking up some afternoon snooze shine.
Yeah.
Now, I wish I could get snooze shine. That's no longer part of my life.
Nah.
But the after mowing the lawn is something that I can get around.
Absolutely.
I do enjoy mowing my
and
lawn.
yeah,
I
like
to
Yeah,
two
I
times.
like it
Every
too.
2 days I mow the front lawn.
that's
Oh.
huge. And we haven't mowed a lawn this afternoon, but I feel like the heat in the not so good shed has sort of lent itself to sort of that exercise. So yeah, and
Certainly
that's
drained
good.
like a...
Yes. Yeah, no, it's good.
Now, a little
Good
more
stuff.
info on
Can we have more
Tracy
beer?
and
Yeah,
Richard.
need
Yeah,
it.
I'll get that out.
No, now.
But all right, I'll get that out.
I require beer now.
Oh, jeez.
But yeah,
You've
so
given me
Tracy,
beer with alcohol. So
Tracy Mar. Now I've written it as Margain, which isn't correct because I think I said grain in the first one. I hope it's grain because like if you're involved in a brewery, then it should be.
I think you said 3 different variations.
Yeah, no.
so
Well, I've got it in
far.
the first bit as Margrain and the second bit as Margain. Anyway, Tracy is BentSpoke's
Tracy.
invaluable Jill of all trades. She has experience in many fields, including cider making, brewing, cooking, and construction, just to name a few. Tracy is BentSpoke's secret weapon. You can find her in the brewery, on the canning line, in the kitchen, or with a wrench in hand. What was it? Was it grain or grain?
Again.
Okay, it wasn't grain.
And what's a wrench for?
Why don't we say grain?
It's
just,
a wrench to
it's a
remove
brewery.
delinquents from the brew pub.
Like me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Don't call
Tracy
me-
with the...
Don't
the
call me
wrench.
grain, you dog. Get out of here.
And
It's
the partner in crime, Richard Watkins. Rich is a twice-crowned Australian champion brewer and has been brewing professionally for 20 years. He spent much of his career as head brewer at Canberra's renowned Wig and Pen before embarking on the venture that is BentSpoke. He is highly regarded as a brewer known for pushing the boundaries of his craft, not afraid to experiment and take a chance on a new untravelled path.
Chance on me.
Now, the beer that Hudson has in his hand, we've got...
Keeping it simple. Japer.
I love Japer as a...
Do you know what Japer?
Junior IPA?
No, just another IPA.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a low alc
Um,
IPA.
so this is their Gabs offering from 2023.
Yeah, that was their Gab's beer. Like, so
Yeah,
they had
They've
brewed
done
before.
other
That's good.
Japers in the past, though, I believe, and this is a newer version of it.
Well,
I
this
reckon
is
I
the
ma-
Gabs. It's got the
Yeah. Now, there is technically a blurb, I think.
It's for the... Well, drifting in is keeping it simple. It's just another IPA. But the blurb is... It's because it's part of their Drifter series.
Okay.
So nothing worthwhile comes easily. Drifting off the beaten track allows you to explore roads less travelled. The Drifter series will broaden horizons, drift in and out, and will no doubt bend a few spokes along the way.
That's cool. I'm going to give that a better blurb score because they deserved it for
Jeez,
that.
bike people would fucking froth BentSpoke, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
They're speaking my language.
It's big down in Braddon.
Spokes. Ooh.
Yeah, so they've actually
You're
got
spoken my language now.
I don't know if you've been there, but they actually have like this wooden sort of floor that they come out so the people with their little clicky shoes they can actually start.
They put on a show.
They can start tap dancing because they're so happy about the beer. Yeah, it's good.
Now, people with clicky shoes. Like, in the cycling circle, I feel like cyclists would be like, oh, you've got clip-ins. You take this seriously. But for non-bike people, it's like, you've got clip-ins. You suck.
But,
Like, why? Why are you doing clip-ins? Like, you're not at the Olympics. Just ride in runners. Like
I
normal people.
I feel bad for cyclists because, like, yeah, it gets frustrating on the road sometimes, but, like, as, like, a group of people when it comes to having an interest, I think they're the most blind. And we're craft beer drinkers, so we know, we cop it. Ooh, you're drinking your
Yeah, but I'm not drinking craft beer in the middle of the fucking road.
drinking your fat crap. I don't know. Yeah, it's true. That's the thing. I get it. So, like, yeah, you know, you want to enjoy your hobby and everything, but I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Unless I'm trying to, like, turn a corner on, like, 100-kilometre road. I'm like, I can't do anything because I'm going to hit something or someone.
No, so it's for, like, my thing with cyclists is, like, when I'm at home and I read, like, driver almost hit cyclist. I'm like, what is this driver doing? But then you're driving and a cyclist is there and you're like, move, idiot. Like, I completely understand their frustration, but as soon as I'm in a car, I'm just like, no, car goes road.
I
Bike
can't
not on road.
I can't get into this, right? So I'm going to sort of recuse myself after this one thought. So what summed it up for me is there was a gaggle of these cyclists riding along down a skinny road, and there was an ambulance coming past, full sirens. Do you reckon they moved over?
Yeah.
No, sorry, we're late for our fucking espresso.
Yeah.
So, and they didn't move.
Yeah.
They did not move, and it might have been because they were in a group. It was hard to move over, but I'm calling move.
The group thing is interesting.
Insane. I could not
Doing it as an
believe it.
individual thing is
And
like,
that summed it up. So
What my issues are, like, and this is a bit of a, sorry, yeah, it is a boomer thought, I guess, but like, so taxes pay for road quality. So if I want, well, this is a council issue with the quality of roads, but like road improvements come from taxes paid. So that comes from road car registration and such. So if I pay car registration, I would expect that the roads are good enough quality for my car. They don't pay rego, but they want to use my road.
oh, that's an interesting thought.
And yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't think it solves the issue of people having road rage against cyclists. Like, oh no, but they paid for rego, so they're entitled to the road. I think it's like the issue comes from entitlement. Like, I know I've spent the last 5 minutes going my road and get out of my way, but like, it's that thing like you just mentioned. Like, there's a group of them and they're riding like 4, even 2 wide, and it's like no, single file.
Yeah.
Single file, especially if an ambulance is coming with the sirens. But at the end of the day, if you're on a bike and I'm in a car and we collide, I feel pretty safe.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not the one getting hurt. Like, that's the thing. It's like, yeah, you want to get your elbows out, but like, I'm not going into the forest with 3 mates and then see a bear and go, nah, get your elbows out, fellas. It's like, no, that motherfucker's ripping me in half.
I'll tell you what sort of, I don't know if you call them a cyclist still, but I'll tell you the ones that you don't have to watch out for. Those crazy non-helmet wearing, no brakes BMX guys. Because they're just using
They're
everything
everywhere.
as a playground. And you'll be driving past one, they'll jump over you and you'll be like, oh, well, yeah, they're aware of you rather than, like, they're aware
There's
of their
Dave
surroundings. They're not like, well,
Dave
you
Mirror.
have to watch out for me.
We could talk about this all day.
And we won't.
The last thing I'll say on it, though, is this might be interesting to everybody if they don't know. Do you know the scientific evolutionary theory on why road rage actually exists?
Yes, but that's okay.
Now, I believe it's because, like, we obviously as a species invented cars and invented them to go 110 k's an hour, but as human beings in our bodies, like, at no point do we need to go that fast. So you're traveling in something that is going potentially 110 k's or more an hour, so your senses are automatically heightened. So when something happens, your brain is going, you're already doing something risky. If someone's doing something to make that even worse. So people that are generally docile, that have road rage, it's a way to explain it. It's like, why would someone get out of their car and beat someone up just for cutting them off in traffic? It's because their brain has just gone primal and gone, no, fuck you.
I did hear that, and I
can
it makes
understand
sense.
that reasoning. For me, though, like, I'm just, like, if something slightly inconveniences me, I'm mad, car or not.
Yeah, fair.
Like,
Yeah.
that's where my road rage comes from. It's like, you made me brake slightly. Like, leave everywhere. Just
Now, on the
get out.
beer,
Yes, please. Let's go
It's
back.
really
I've
nice.
given the can art a bit of a high score because, I don't know if you guys have realised, if you feel it,
It's 3D.
it's a bit of 3D.
Yeah,
It's like an
yeah.
odd bod. Remember the odd bods?
Odd pods, all right.
Yeah, feel that.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, so I like that. You can feel the spokes on the can.
Yeah, you
And
can.
I like the black and the little bit of black and green and white.
Bit of purple. Is there purple?
I don't.
Oh, no, that
Think
must
so.
have... Oh, no. Must have been on the older one. I think there's purple on the... If you go into Untapped.
That non-alcohol beer really hits you hard, isn't it?
I'm
Yeah.
cooked.
But no, this actually interestingly has, with the pictures, full hops, half malt and half yeast. I think this is feels like a quite malt or yeast forward IPA. Would you also agree?
Yeah,
Like,
this-
I don't
and
think
this-
it's super hop forward as it is like the sort of a depth which I'm attributing to the malt or the yeast. But
Is there sorry, I apologise. What hops are in here? Because it seems like it's some sort of stone fruit sort of situation.
Don't.
Maybe not. Not at all.
the hops from US and New Zealand.
Yeah, an array of hops.
Resinous and dank.
Dank with a
Yeah.
little gooseberry. What's a gooseberry, though?
I don't know. But
Every beer
bollock.
writes gooseberry.
all I know is if you want
that
to
a
taste,
Wonka
if you
thing?
want to taste gooseberry, that's Snollsberry. But if you want to taste gooseberry, get the Phantasm IPA from Bridge Road because
yeah.
that whatever that is, it's
Any of several species of flowering shrubs of the genus Ribus.
so they don't know.
Cultivated for their edible fruits and as ornamentals. Currants and gooseberries form 2 groups within the genus Ribus. Some taxonomic systems formally place gooseberries in their own genus, Grossularia.
I can't come
Well
into
pronounced.
I can't come into work today because my genus
That's grossolar.
rubus is playing up.
The genus ribus.
Oh no, you got that gooseberry thing happening.
Oh, no.
The gooseberry is indigenous to many parts of Europe and Western Asia, growing naturally in alpine thickets and rocky woods in the lower country. From France. Thickets is a great word to say. Say thickets.
Thickets.
It seems, it's fun. Thickets.
It's quite
I like that.
like musical.
Like you sound,
Yeah.
but like no matter which way you say it, it sounds like you like trying to assert dominance. Thickets. Oh, he's serious. Oh, that guy's serious.
I felt that. I felt
Thickets.
that.
Now, $7.70 a can.
Seven.
We equate it out.
Seven.
Oh, by the way,
$7.70 for
two
two.
standard drinks, 6.8% in a 375ml can. That's quite
pretty good.
strong. This
What'd you
is
say? $7.75.
$7.70.
Why would it be $7.75? That's a weird number.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I
Right?
think it's bloody hard to get a beer under $10 these days.
That's a really good beer because it's just simple. Here's an IPA. Drink the IPA. Like this.
Yeah, really solid score, I
This
think. all
could
around the
be
board.
sitting on the bar of the good shed right between the left and right taps.
Okay, interesting. Its own tap.
Yeah, because it's like IPAs probably do, like in the grand scheme of beers, IPAs are probably leaning more towards experimental for standard beer, like for like mainstream beer drinkers. But this is like super, I guess tame, but it's just like, this is what this is. This
But that's
is
what,
IPA.
Funny you mentioned that because I would argue as well that is exactly what Crankshaft is. Crankshaft is the beer that if someone says to me, I've been drinking some craft beer, like, what's the next, like I've been drinking Pales, what's the next step up?
Yeah.
If you want an IPA, Crankshaft is an amazing beer to start with.
I think it's really interesting throughout this podcast. We've sort of realised that BentSpoke have done it pretty well as far as like from the non-alc and, you know, the bent and that sort of stuff. And it's sort of like, yeah, if you do start somewhere, you can make the progression into the next beer. It's not like you're going into the next bloody stratosphere or whatever. So,
Yeah, it's not like a bloody, and no offense to One Drop because I like their beers, but like a bloody, what's it, like the choc pecan mud cake stout pastry.
I think they've
like-
done mud cake, but they've
Which
weird
are
fruits.
delicious.
Weird fruits. Fruits.
Yeah, like schnozberries and gooseberries.
Now, you guys might be interested to know.
a
Now
rich assumption.
I'm going to do some more untapped towards the end for individual untaps because they've been around for a while, so we have some data. But what
Data?
highest rated BentSpoke beer is one that I didn't know actually existed
Is it a-
on
it's-
Untapped, this is.
on Untap.
Is it like a stout or like a barrel aged? Everything's always barrel aged unless it's mountain culture.
I will say it is a cluster, but what number cluster is it?
8?
16.
Get going.
What? There's more?
24.
Cluster 18, 18% quadruple. what
Yeah,
I
see,
think is an
put
IPA.
that into my veins.
Now, 4.13 from
Yeah.
216 reviews.
Yeah,
that's not many.
So I would have to say though, all of those cluster beers. Let's just take a minute and talk about the cluster beers. They are straight up delicious. Because you can pump any beer up to into the high ABV, but like the way they do it, they all have their own characteristics, but they are all very well done and they just delicious.
Well, Cluster 8 was probably my first ever like favorite beer. It was like, I remember having Cluster 8. I think it was at the Good Shed, and then like it was back
come
when
out
stuff
once a
was
year,
hard to
wouldn't
get. Yeah. So like, I remember it came back to the Good Shed, and I was like, okay, I'm buying an 6-pack for like $1 million.
Yeah.
But it was like, I need like Cluster 8. It was like, if it's here, I have to have it all. It was like what Be Kind Rewind was before it was core.
And
It
as
was
well,
like, oh, this is here, I must buy all of it.
we need to mention about BentSpoke. They used to come in the cans that you peel the whole top off, so
Yeah.
the can would be like a glass.
I'm glad that trend kind of died off. I wasn't too into
It
that.
was a bit annoying because then you'd have like a top and you're like, what do I do with this?
Well, that's
Except for
true.
slice off my own arms.
Yeah, but I would
dog,
yeah.
dog food tin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad that trend. Yeah.
Why are you in the AR? Oh, I try to open a beer and I have 3 less fingers.
Now, I'll grab the next beer out in a sec, but I
Thanks.
will just mention the other 2 beers that I had while I was there. One was a Frenzy raspberry wheat beer infused and served through the Hoppinator, filled with fresh summer berries and mint. It's sweet, tart, and berry-licious, 5.3%, and it was red. Well, it was not red, it was very, like, a light red, but yeah, for a here's a wheat beer, and it's like they pour it. You think, oh, I'm sorry, no, I didn't want a cider and a sour. It's like, no, it's not what this is.
Yeah, okay. Interesting.
I've just thought of like a game show quiz style segment that we could have on this pod after we visit breweries. Because I reckon, like, when you said that you had a red wheat beer, I was like, yes, of course Zach had a red wheat beer.
Who has what?
Yeah, like, so you come back, it's like, I went to BentSpoke, and you put a photo in front of us of the tap list, and you say, I had 3 beers. And we have to guess what the 3 beers were.
I'm so glad you've said this.
Because I bet you the next one's a fucking Saison.
No, it isn't. But because on trend, what we were speaking about as of late, I bet you can guess what it was. It was the 10th, so it was their 10th anniversary special beer they've done.
Yeah.
It was a West Coast Pilsner.
Yeah.
There you go.
10 years for BentSpoke. Crisp, fruity, hoppy, refreshing Pilsner to bring in 2024. Notes of orange, candied pineapple, and ripe guava. Hops, Citra, and Mosaic in a Pilsner. 5%. Bloody sensational.
Yeah, and listen, I don't want to derail the whole pod and jump on it, but like West Coast Pilsners are pretty fantastic. I had a Bridge Road one recently. Bridge Road one recently, and it was absolutely delicious, and it was something I'm like, out of the whole series, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll have this. I think it'll be fine. But it's probably one of my favourite beers that I've had from them, hands down.
It just came out as the new series beer.
So where can you buy it? You can buy it at Lane Cellars at the moment. It's not at IGA as yet.
Also, it's a 5.9% Pilsner as well, which is getting high.
And it's also meant to be on at Beer Deluxe. However, I've been in there 4, 5, 10 times.
Yes, that is an issue that we need to not mention.
But that's okay. But it's at Good Shed on tap. And
is it?
I actually, look. Oh, wait.
What is that?
Yeah.
Liquid cold, yeah.
Oh, I've never seen that.
I gave Grazie one, but then I didn't see you for a while, so you didn't get one. I'm sorry. It was pretty good. Yeah.
Liquid cold IPA.
Yeah, but they've got some really good stuff.
It was really bad.
But I actually had...
Don't worry, you don't want it. It's really bad.
I had my first...
It's the best.
I had my first one of those at the Brunswick Bridge Road.
Where can I buy that?
That one? I didn't see that come out.
Simon's talking about the West Coast, so he had it at Brunswick.
Yeah. But that one should be at the brewery. I didn't see it anywhere else.
Well, then I guess I got to go to Beechworth because my mate didn't buy me one when he was there.
Well, I did, but your mate had the first one and went, oh, goodness. And then...
gave it to his other mate that isn't you.
Yes.
Yeah, if you're a lister and you're a regular craft beer drinker and you aren't yet on the West Coast Pilsner
Simo will probably buy you one and give you one.
You'd hope so.
Come on.
You'll be beaten in a submission, but I think this is like when cold IPAs became a bit of a thing. But I don't care. I will put my bowls on the line for not the first time this month.
That's not that good a bet.
Yeah,
like that's not a massive thing to put up for you.
Not good for a bloke that's had the snip. But I will say, as of late, I'll put the bowls on the line again. And say that they are better than a cold IPA.
100%.
I think they're more accessible. I think they are far more accessible to everybody.
Then what?
Style. A West Coast Pilsner is more accessible than a cold IPA to a general audience. There's more that can be done with it, in my opinion, as well.
Very good.
You being like, I'll put my balls on it. It's like showing up to a footy game. It's like, I brought my own footy, but it's flat.
Yeah. Anyway, we are entering the part of the podcast that we also refer to as Simo's dark side. What should we call it? Simo needs to take the red pill. I don't know. No, Stranger Things, the upside down. We're entering Simo's upside down.
Tell me what it is.
Because we are having the BentSpoke Flemm. Flanders Red Ale. 6%.
My response? Dung dung.
Now, there isn't a blurb, so we can't rate it on that. However, we'll find some information on the website about what the Flemm actually is. So, Flanders Red Ale. Now, interestingly, with the pictures with the profile, 3/4 sour, half oak, full malt. Are you intrigued? We've had this before, but years ago. So let's try.
Look, open mind.
Intrigued wouldn't be the adjective I use for Simon.
I just don't know who put.
I know this isn't your style.
Flemm, because Flemm is.
If you type in Flemm with,
if
you Google Flemm with 2 M's, I'm pretty sure he's gone. Type in Flemm with 2 M's on Google. this beer comes up, so I'm not. I think it's their own take on this on the word.
Yeah, I think it's actually. I think it might be a core range Flemm. They've got a year-round cold. Oh, geez.
Well, it is Canberra.
Yeah,
It did snow there in an AFL game.
that's amazing. That's so good.
I like Canberra.
I like Canberra too.
I'm going against popular, like, because it's popular to rag on Canberra, especially as an Albury person, because Albury, if they we're going to pick the capital of between Melbourne and Sydney, why wasn't it Albury? We were in the running.
We don't need the politicians living here.
But
yeah, there's more they're not telling us.
Are you
That
saying-
is their tagline.
Are you saying
Yeah.
Albury should have been the capital?
well, it was
Australia?
between
argument.
Albury and Canberra.
Was it actually?
No, there was
Well,
a lot
'cause
of...
it was like-
Tarawa was one that they wanted
Yeah,
to...
it was like,
I did not know this.
Yeah.
but that was the purely not the reason Canberra got it, but it was like the one of the factors was Sydney and Melbourne are the biggest cities. We need to have a city between them,
Yeah.
like that's in the middle.
This smells alright.
Now, your palate has changed because we've been doing this,
looks
for a while
This
now.
looks super red IPA.
Yeah, it does.
It smells interesting. Like I can smell it's going to be sour.
Bit of caramel. I bet you want more.
Oh, it went up my nose. Like,
Hey,
why
Jim.
did you go?
In the
It's tough.
3 months we've been off, have you
Thank you.
cut that nose hair?
So I bought a new pair of tweezers
Oh,
that
cool.
have gold tips.
Ooh.
Unsure what
What's
that does.
Yeah.
Maybe you could Google that for me. But I still feel it's kind of there somewhat.
Have you done all the scores, Hudson? Can I rub mine off to start a new...
1 second.
I've also developed
I've written
a
it. Yeah,
grey
get rid of it.
mustache hair.
Can I get nostalgic over a beer smell? Because I'm having flashbacks to 2019. You know, before I had kids, before
Okay,
COVID.
yeah, just give it to us. I'd
Yeah.
love to bloody hear it.
Drinking beers with you guys back in the day.
Aw.
That's what this smells like.
We need
When
to
we
bring...
first started.
I feel I haven't had an ice box since, but I'd love to have an ice box poured in front of me and smell that and just get taken back to that Australia day.
This almost smells
This
like a
does
soft
smell
drink.
really nice.
Like a Ribena sort of soft drink. And then,
yeah,
but there's something funky about it.
bit of a stretch.
It's funky.
Funky's
yes,
right.
Absolutely. Is this the last beer we're having?
No, there's one more after.
Oh,
And
goodness.
it's funkier.
Okay.
So this
alright.
is a 6% beer as well. The Flemm. This is the strongest beer we're
Okay.
having today.
So everyone's.
I wish I knew funk bands to make a reference. Like this is like a medium level funk band, and the next one's like
Yeah, that's fair.
Funky and the Funkasaurs.
Funky and the
yeah,
Funky
you can
Bunch.
get rid of that.
This isn't too bad.
Gold-plated grips can gently hold tiny hair without slipping or breaking.
Oh, that makes sense. Well,
Oh
yeah.
my god, I
that's
thought you were
made-
reading a beer blurb, and I was like, what is happening?
Yeah, that's what
No,
this is.
gold-tipped tweezers.
Yeah, that's what this
as
is.
advertised 4 out of 5. Gold-tipped tweezers.
Yeah. So this isn't too bad, but still, I'm like, it's kind of like a wild. What is it? Wild fermented.
Yeah, yeah. It's
sort
like
of
a farmhouse.
situation. Farmhouse. I'd say this is pretty tame in comparison
Ooh.
to the Lost Palms one that we had.
This
Which
is like
that was 8 or 9%, wasn't it? Though the Lost Palms.
Yeah,
this is
well,
red
it's Lost
wine
Palms
to
wouldn't
me.
it
This is like just red wine,
be? Nah.
Now listen.
like a port or a muscat. Like
No, yeah,
sits in your throat
Cool.
like a real fermented red
Yeah,
wine.
almost
but I
like
don't-
Flemm, you may say.
But I don't. I don't hate. Oh, I got a bit going on there. I don't hate this, but if you said, "Do you want another one?" I would say my
Let me
card.
think about it.
My card isn't
No, thank
working.
No, but this from the
What if I'm
perspective
buying?
of flavour, there's so much going on, and it's so unique.
How much
and-
was it?
Simon. Now, listen. Okay, now I need to point out to both BentSpoke. I apologise for Simon, and also
Yeah,
all
it's
the
not a
listeners.
reflection on your beer because Simon
Oh
just
no,
doesn't
not
like that
no,
style.
not at all. Yeah,
Now-
I'm pretty narrow.
It comes up as a sour. Sorry, so on Untapped, this is classed as a sour red ale. If that actually
Yep.
simplifies things a little bit.
A Flanders red ale,
Simon, yeah, but Simon has reviewed this on the 1st of September 2020.
What did
Don't-
I, have
Okay,
I?
but-
Can you score it today first on Untapped? I want to see if it matches, so don't tell him.
No, but I can't tell him what he said about it.
Hang on. Well, no. Well, let me.
Let him review it and give a number.
Okay.
Because that would be also
So-
a reflection of progress or lack thereof.
And also,
In
I would
flavours
just
and
say,
taste.
I would just say as well that I'm not the biggest. Can I tell you the part I'm not the biggest fan of?
Yes,
So okay, so
I'll allow it. A couple of flies.
whatever that is.
Oh,
The
yeah.
aftertaste is a weird hit.
Yeah, I
But-
think
but also I can tell.
That's the barrel stuff, I reckon.
Yeah, it could be. It could be the oak. But what I reckon, it is a good representation of the style and has been done very well. It's probably my favourite of that style. But I would love to, Graz, to give it to me.
There's a depth of berry in there, by the way. I'm just getting more so as I get. It's like
probably
berries, but a deep berry. That's why I said Ribena, which is silly, but that colour of it, which is like that. Yeah.
Like it's not the flavour of Ribena, but it's the
what
the
you think it's going to taste like when you see it.
Like NBA do this for draft picks, and it's like shades of Kevin Durant. It's like he's not Kevin Durant, but he gives you the vibe.
Yeah.
But like what you were saying, sorry,
just
just to get into it, just before you give him what he's had in the past, that thumbs up quickly to what's happening is like very reminiscent of barrel aged. Like if you don't love it, it's like, oh, what a flavour. But it's almost like a spirits. When you drink spirits as well, it's like whiskey. If you're not super into whiskey, you're like, oh, that's really nice. And then you're like, what is happening in my mouth and throat?
Yeah, but I would say as well, like I'm not the biggest fan of bourbon barrel aged stouts, but I am more because of the chocolatey sort of things. I think it lends itself more to the style. But yeah, it's actually is kind of aggressive.
Just quickly before I mention Simo's previous review,
Jesus,
$6.20 for a 6% beer. Now, Simon, 1st of September 2020, you gave it 3 out of 5.
Today you gave it 3.5.
Whoa! And what would be your quick Untapped review if you did it right now, Simon?
Actually, it was kind of aggressive. Again, I don't know.
You're trying to be clever, and you said more Flemm than Flemm.
Oh yeah, that's pretty funny. Yeah,
good one, Simon.
Funny dog, aren't I? I'm glad I've stopped doing that.
Hudson, we were right not to laugh.
Have I scored it?
Oh, hang on, where are we? Flemm.
This is like when Simo bought that Bridge Road beer and gave it to you, but not me. You were like, here's all my data from the beers, but it's only Simo's and not yours.
What have you given it today?
I feel really bad.
I gave it a 4.
You gave it a 3.5 when you had it on the 31st of... You had it on the 31st of August 2020, and Simo had it on the 1st of September 2020.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I reckon you reviewed it a day after. I reckon we had it somewhere. But I would say, I don't write.
No, you didn't write anything for that one. No, I think you might have one.
It's the best option not to write anything because it kind of reminds me. I'm going to throw on under the bus, but it reminds me of Marcella's Facebook statuses from like 10 years ago that she shares, and it's very funny. It's like example what I just said. I'm like, oh come on.
Yeah, no. There's 2 types of people in the world, and it's the people that go into Facebook memories and share it, and the people that go into Facebook memories and say, I wish I deleted that 4 years ago.
But I think
and delete it promptly.
But yeah, I think it's pretty funny because in the way she shares it, she's like, oh, this is gross.
Do we have a blurb for that beer on the website? Because at the moment there's nothing on the can at all, unfortunately. But there is a QR code. So I don't want to give it 0 because I've given it a solid rating every other way. And I don't want BentSpoke to be one of the lower rated breweries on our system. So
well, the system's a system, Zach. You can't cheat the system. No, Untapped. No, but you got to score it off the blurb that's on the can. That's the whole point. Is our scoring system is outside of as advertised, but what I'm walking in and getting it off the shelf.
Canned for quality and outdoor enjoyment. Beer brewed in Canberra.
There you go. That's your blurb. Score it off that, you dog. I do have more notes, but I just want to double check that I've actually been recording.
That's all right.
Oh no. Oh, we'd have audio.
Yeah.
We're fine.
Okay, there you go.
But I've got a really cool... because I've got lots of Untapped stuff, and here's an interesting one. So, we talk about 2019. Hudson, do you know what your review of the Crankshaft is on Untapped?
The Crankshaft.
Is it the first time I had it?
It must be, or must be very close, because...
I reckon I gave it a...
Let's think about the date on this, by the way.
2019 would have been... How old was I? Early 20s. 2019. What date was it, sorry, in 2019?
Australia Day of 2019.
Okay,
so very early in 2019.
24. And...
Shit.
Yeah.
How old is...
24, having it on Australia Day, probably hot.
Oh, was it a good shed? We had it out a little...
We purchased at First Choice Liquor.
Interesting. So the can might have been
The old
close.
can too.
Like, let's see when the best before was, because First Choice and Dan's don't have a great track record, burning a couple of bridges. I would say I gave it a 3.75.
So,
Although I'm historically a
I
good
will
marker,
say,
4.25.
you gave it, on the 30th of October 2018,
Oh.
right before my wedding, you gave it a 3.75. Then, on Australia Day of 2019,
4.25.
you gave it a 4 and said,
4.
as my tastes have expanded, this beer has become nicer to me.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean,
Can't argue with that.
I don't write much, but when I do, bloody, not bad.
Spot on.
Travis
Spot
texted-
on.
Travis texted
Absolutely
me,
spot on.
Yeah.
Crankshaft, I don't know if I've ever rated it,
What's
but
that? A 1?
yeah.
Okay.
Isn't it? Well, what did you put?
3. I've just given everything.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah,
3.5.
put that in for me.
Okay.
Put it in for all of us.
Yeah, put it in for all of us. But Crankshaft is a very delicious beer. Well done. Also,
It's their second best. Well, core range is their second best beer behind Sprocket, but Cluster 8 and Cluster 12 are the best. I haven't. Oh God, I want to have Cluster 18 yesterday now.
Hey, you haven't told the story of when we had Cluster 12. Do you remember how that came about?
Well, I got a big because I went to BentSpoke and I bought
A growler.
one of their growlers and filled it with Cluster 12.
You
That's
sorted it.
about as much.
However, part of the story was that you didn't go. I was there and you got me to buy it for you.
Oh,
And we all drank it on a Sunday afternoon together.
well, see,
we
because
shared it.
I've been to BentSpoke before, so I'm mixing memories.
Yeah, so
But
I
okay.
bought you your growler with Cluster 12 in it, and
Yeah.
we drank it all together on a Sunday afternoon. I remember. However,
Did we all give it a great score?
I think we must have. I'm
God,
trying.
good.
I've got those.
I
part
reckon
of it as
Simo
well.
was like, I think I'm dying 12.
or maybe
I laugh like that.
I'll
I
get the
hate
last
myself
beer out
sometimes.
as I look for that information.
Okay, can I also tell you a story? My BentSpoke story?
I'll allow it.
So my brother Scott lives over in Canberra, and he...
Shout out, Scott.
Shout out, Scotty. He doesn't live too far from... there's a place... So, essentially...
On Ocean Avenue.
over the back of where he is, there's like a velodrome, well not, an outdoor cycling place, and there's a big running track that's grass and all that sort of thing. And there's like Mount Stromlo, so they have like sort of mountain bikes and that sort of thing. They have a bar called the no, it's not. It's called the Handlebar.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, we were going up for a walk one day, and all of a sudden it was like a fucking mirage. I had no idea it was up there. Went up there and it's like, I think that's a bar. Went in there, all these BentSpoke beers. So I think
Is it BentSpoke? Do they run it?
No, I don't think so. I'm
Pop
not
up
too
or
sure. It's there like year round. The Handlebar. So Mount Stromlo. Let's have a look.
Yeah, located at Handlebar.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, it's a really good little bar. But yeah, had some BentSpoke beers.
Ride, restaurant. There you go.
Yeah,
bikes, bikes.
Oh, so
Yeah.
many bikes.
I know, but they're
They're all
away
over the
from
road.
me. They're
No,
away from
nowhere
me.
near the roads.
Yeah, that's it. Anyway, sorry, Gratz. What
I've
do you
got
got?
an update on the 31st of August, 1st of September BentSpoke story. I must have brought more beers back because the reviews for the Cluster 12 are the same 2 dates.
Oh, yeah. So I reckon we had it on the 31st, and then
We reviewed it on the 1st of September.
like I reviewed it on the day, and
Yeah,
Simo
because you
reviewed
took
it
a
the
picture on
next
the
day or something.
31st with it.
There you go.
You gave it 5,
Yeah, fucking oath.
the Cluster 12, but no review. Simon, Cluster 12. Super boozy as I expected, but the accompanying flavours tied it all together.
Whoa.
I can't remember most of my night.
Can I guess that
Whoa.
score? So that score gives off 4.5 plus vibes, but he's given it a 4.
Yes, he has.
No, I'm a fucking.
Also,
idiot.
your friend Zach G commented
God, I know you so well.
and said,
So
I would do it
annoying.
all over again.
Yeah, cute.
That's nice.
But yeah, that should be a 5. And I've changed. I've since changed.
I
Because
gave
I'm
it
just-
4.5 for anyone that's playing along at home.
So it's just the
I hate that I knew that.
and I
so-
said, what an afternoon.
It's the anticipation of like, what if a better beer comes along? So I don't want to rate it like, you know. But I shouldn't do that.
You're Barney on How I Met Your Mother when he had a phone, then a bunch of women kept ringing, and he'd go to hang out with one, then it'd ring, and he'd be like, sorry, you was always better, and then he'd leave.
Yeah, exactly. That's sort of what's going on there.
Yeah, so we're going to go to our last beer in a sec. I'm just wondering if I've got any more good reviews. Simon, the Red Nut, have you reviewed that? You should have.
Because it's mine. Hey.
No, Hutto has the Red Nut.
Sorry.
I
I'm not
Nice.
talking about my head. Hey.
Hutto gave the Red Nut, which is
would you rate the red nut? You would.
the Red IPA.
Get in line.
Yeah, it was alright.
Get in line.
Hutto, nice taste, malty, heavy though, 3.5.
Yeah.
7%.
Yeah.
With an IBU of 56. Which is quite interesting.
What is this what this is? What's this? Do I look at it or is this a... Surprise.
Sprite?
You can look at it and read out what it is.
No,
What do you
I
need?
won't. I refuse.
Okay,
It's a
all right.
Sprite.
The BentSpoke Brewing Co. Muther Funker.
Oh.
Barrel aged sour.
Okay.
Half 3/4 malt, half 3/4 oak, full funk.
What's half 3/4, man?
Well, I don't know if that's half or 3/4.
That's
What do you
half.
think that is?
Half.
It's half?
Half.
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 Do you wanna look at
Half.
it?
Yeah, I would like to look at it. Thank you very much. This
I'll
is
allow
this
it.
is good. Thank you for letting me look.
Thanks.
Mm.
Thanks. No, thank you for
Excellent.
looking.
Motherfucker.
That might be that I don't own.
Funk. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Oh shit.
No, because like the more sour and lambic they get, the deeper the burps are.
Yeah, right.
Something in that.
They're
Um,
lower.
Good areas.
They're coming from lower down.
I'll tell you what. It's another hot day in Aubrey, and by this stage, I'm almost seeing colours. Like, I'm lit up. That's all I have to tell you. Anyway.
We don't have any more good info on it. Wait a minute. What is this? Oh, sorry. The Descent 21 that they did was a 10%.
Oh yeah,
Russian
see,
Imperial.
that gives me like Simo. That gives me Simo vibes.
Oh,
the
Science
Descent
reviewed it.
21. Yeah, because
In 2021, he gave it 4.
Really?
Fucking idiots.
Yeah, see, that's what I mean. Is because like Simo's like favorite bright beer is the Stubborn,
Stubborn Russian.
formerly Stubborn
Yeah.
Russian.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
You can't say that.
Yes.
But yeah, like Descent 21 gives me like this is my favorite beer at BentSpoke vibes from Simo.
Yeah.
For sure.
For sure. Oh shit.
Good pause.
Good pause.
Yep.
Now, have we
It's
ever
a weird
had
ti-
a
it's a weird
barrel-aged
time.
sour on the...
I don't think so.
I haven't.
So yeah, this smells similar
sorry,
to the other
that's
one. You can smell it's a sour.
Oh.
I think it's a little bit of barrel, but not too much.
What's it aged in? It doesn't say.
I reckon it's.
A red wine, white wine.
I don't know. It tastes whatever it was. It tastes similar to the other one somewhat.
So,
But it kind of tastes like.
Can I rub these calls?
So
yeah,
Not that one. That
Yeah.
was.
1 second. Sorry, Simon.
that's all right.
Yes.
This might sound strange,
Okay.
but I don't know what color what like sort of I don't know. What do you say? What color the wood is, or what?
The stain.
That's I don't know, but like say I feel like it's a lighter wood rather than a darker wood.
Yeah,
but I
okay,
don't
like-
even.
Well,
That's what I'm tasting.
Yeah,
but
what does
it-
that mean?
Yeah,
well, it's probably not the wood. It's what's been in the barrel itself because
it
it
could be
soaks
too.
up. Like the wood would be, like I mean, there's obviously they probably use different types of wood. I'm not claiming to know how they build barrels because there would be different types of wood, but
And there would be only
it's-
certain types
It's
they use
more
for
so
barrels.
what's been soaked into the wood. So has the barrel housed bourbon, and because of the properties of wood, it tends to soak in the liquid that it comes into contact with.
Yeah, I feel it's similar to what the Flemm had going on, but it's like I'm not getting the slap in the like the wet fish slap in the face afterwards. Yeah, this is quite good. This is quite good.
there
What's
you
the
go.
percentile on this?
Just 5%, but it actually tastes. There's more depth to it. Than
It tastes
think.
very
Yeah.
boozy. It tastes very.
Because as we've said, once a sour goes beyond the 5% range, it I think it needs to be 6% to be fair. It becomes a new beast. But this one is its own beast at 5%. So
yeah, no, it's
It's
quite
Oh,
nice.
really?
I don't mind this. at all. Thank
$6.20.
you. What? Where are you
It
getting
just
these?
doesn't say.
Where are you getting these price? Are these wholesale? Like these are.
I
very
have just
cheap.
taken the 4-pack and divided by 4.
Oh yeah, fair enough. But that's quite well.
How'd you get
priced.
$6.20? $6.25?
Blow my calculator if that's incorrect.
$6.25.
It must maybe a decimal point has been taken.
Yeah.
Oh, breeze.
Oh, fudge.
breeze. That's good.
Oh, sorry, not the breeze, but I forgot about that. The
Oh,
BentSpoke
yeah.
did the brewer share with Teeling whiskey, and it was insanity.
Yeah, it's
It was
still
so good.
Can I
sold
point out I have
It's
been to
sold
both
out.
that brewery and that distillery
Oh, nice.
in
Cool.
Dublin.
I think that was. Is that the one that were they at the High Country Hop last year? You
Oh,
guys didn't.
I'm
go,
not sure. I
so
bloody
should
missed
know
it.
because I did go. But yeah, it was good. Very good.
And that is a
I haven't tried this
whiskey
yet.
barrel infused Irish stout.
Yeah, so if I'm talking about the right one, so basically they brewed the beer and like infused it with whiskey and wanted a particular percentage. So they like say the beer came out at like 14%. They're like, no, we want it to be, what's it? what is it? Not that. Not 14. It was lower. It doesn't actually say on the website. That's
I swear it's like 6.8 maybe.
7 point something. 7.0. And they basically just poured more of the non-whiskey infused base of the beer until it became 7%.
Yeah,
Like what whiskey, like liquor makers, distillers, do with their whiskey when they're like, it comes out of the cask at 60%, but it has to be 40. They just tip water into it until it becomes 40%.
There you go. Interesting. But yeah, that would have been a good one to have for sure. Again, yeah, this one's got that
It's a big oak.
farmhouse situation.
Does a
sort of
bit.
thing,
And
yeah.
there's an oakiness I'm getting as well.
Yeah. I'm going to look into like not right now, but like what barrels, like what wood is used in barrels, because like oak is a common one, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if there's many others that lend themselves to it. What wood is
I'm a
yours?
wood expert.
What?
Oak.
Just oak.
Wooden liquor barrels are made up of oak due to expedience and porosity.
Oh, so it's the
Porous.
I read that as
Porous.
expenditure and prosperity.
well, there you go.
So there's different types of oak. The American white oak barrel is primarily used for aging because it adds great flavours to whiskey and wine.
Oh, we probably should. Well,
so
it's
it's
called
the-
Border Barrels. We probably should know more about barrels.
Yeah, we're learning.
Brother, it's a beer podcast
Brother.
and we know barely anything about beer. I wouldn't stretch into barrels yet.
Yeah, no, we're getting around.
Brother.
Brother.
Listen here, brother.
Let me tell you something, brother.
Woo!
Is that the same guy?
No, that's okay. They're still
Nah.
1980s wrestlers. That's
Damn it.
fine.
Sorry.
Basically the same guy.
Yeah.
though.
So who was it? Who was
Hulk
it?
Hogan is
Was the
the
brother.
Oh yeah,
And
Ric
Woo.
Flair is
Sorry. Yeah. Both blonde
What's
belly
the
hair.
song? What's the song that he walks out to? It's like a Apollo or Space
Flair.
Odyssey. Yeah, Odyssey something.
Oh, it's
It's the every astronaut
dun,
Song.
Dun, dun,
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
Bang.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
21 Savage does a song about Ric Flair.
It's from 2001: A Space Odyssey, and yeah.
But like he
Metro
wrestled.
Boomin has Ric Flair drip and Offset.
But hold on, he wrestled before 2001.
Yeah, but 2001: A Space Odyssey wasn't released in 2001.
No,
Oh,
it was
touche.
It was like a
Is
70s
that an?
movie.
Oh, well there you go. Sorry, dickhead.
Yeah, that's an old movie.
Yeah, it's that song.
Ah, sorry. There you go.
But
that makes sense.
yeah, so that movie was
2001.
why would 1968?
Okay,
Whoa.
there you go.
I will say, Simon, now you are very good at impressions.
Mm,
It's almost unfortunate that you haven't been a lifelong wrestling fan, because my goodness, you could do some incredible impressions with.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'll have to watch a few.
Yeah. Let me see right. No, I can't do it. He's got a lisp. I can't even do that.
Who is it?
Ric Flair.
Ric Flair.
Does he have a lisp?
He's got a lisp. Yeah.
Okay.
I
I'll,
reckon I know that.
I'll have to look into it. I'll do a few in the coming.
A bit of a
episodes.
lisp. Like,
No, it's all right. It's fine. Lisps are things. That's
lisp
good.
of things. Anyway, thank you, BentSpoke. Well, thank you. Think Emma.
Oh, we done.
Jesus. From BentSpoke. They're all the beers we had. But yeah,
I'm just-
really cool, interesting little pod to do something different rather than just big IPAs.
Just a note. Probably should have written that
Haven't thought
down.
that
By
yet.
the way,
What's that? The
You
name.
should- the name.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
No, because there's a few others
Now,
that
this
you
is-
on your trip that you were that had.
This is
similar-
true, and I did a fair few breweries after that. However, I will just say in my defence, the only reason I went upstairs is because a 4-year-old ran up there by himself. Then I had to come down with him, and he was ready to leave and ran around the corner.
You had a bit going on.
and
That's
go
okay.
shopping.
Sure.
So I
That's
sort of had
okay.
to say thank you very
That's
quickly.
okay. Yes,
and,
yeah,
she will
that's
remember
okay.
that if she
Zach
listens
was
to this.
Yes.
definitely downstairs and went, Cass, run up the stairs so I have an excuse to go up there.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't unhappy that he did. Although I will say one thing about BentSpoke, you need to access about 16 doors to get to their bathroom. It's quite an interesting experience. Let us know if you've been
By
to
the time you
BentSpoke.
get through all the doors, you're like, I don't need a wee.
Well, it's not even that.
I've
It's
done it in my pants.
The more so is if you have been there having a big afternoon or a big evening, and then you're trying to make your way back. So if you've been there and you've struggled to get back to the bar, let us know. There's a few
Front
a few
page of the
rules.
Canberra Times.
It's like what is it?
Man
the Paris
missing
catacombs.
Man missing for 3 days, found in BentSpoke toilets.
It's like the Paris.
I got 4 doors in and I was lost.
Should have taken my bike.
3 doors down.
Should have taken my bike.
But that's like the Paris catacombs. Like
Score the big
people do. People like take their cameras down there, and then they've found someone's camera, but never found the person. Like all that sort of stuff. I don't know. Look that up. There's stuff.
Look that.
Not you guys.
Go on.
But if you're
No,
listening and you're
no,
interested,
you
some
look
interesting
that up.
Paris
look that up.
catacombs.
If you're keen to see an unmanned camera,
Look that up.
look that
I'm
up.
so startled.
Oh god! All right, we're getting stupid. We're gonna go. Thank you very much. To
What was your
BentSpoke.
favourite BentSpoke beer?
Some might
Okay.
argue this is the best part of the
What
pod.
was your favourite
Okay.
beer, by the way? Regardless of rating system.
Japer.
Japer?
Yeah. I drink, like, if I was basing it on what would I drink the most of, it would be Japer. The highest score based on Untapped for me was the Japer. For Zach, it was the Flemm.
Yep.
And for Syme, it was the Japer. Based on border barrels, my highest was the Flemm. Yours was the Flemm, Zach, and Syme. Yours was both the Muther Funker and the Japer.
Yeah. So to be honest, for me, weirdly, the Muther Funker was probably my favourite.
Yep.
There you
Yeah. Yeah.
It was very
Absolutely. I
Very
thought
good.
the Japer, there was like
Mhm.
there was something in there that I was like, I'm not too sure about, but
I don't know if that's a yeast thing. Because
But-
like yeast and malt were
yeah,
like,
and
the
it's
same
hard.
level.
It's hard for IPAs because it's like I've had of IPAs, but with that Muther Funker, I'm like, this is a really unique style. I really enjoyed it. It tastes quite farmhousey and whatever else. Yeah, that was my favourite Muther
Yeah.
Funker,
Well,
which
yeah,
I
Fle-
would, which if you put those in front of me to start off with, I would not have picked.
Yeah, and Flemm was my favourite, so I'm glad the rating system also.
Yes, good.
The motherfuckers made me feel weird behind the eyes. I don't know why I just did John Cena.
Anyway, Simon and I'll keep talking because he's not there anymore.
Yeah, you can't see him, and you won't be seeing us until the next episode.
Yeah, we'll see you next time.
Well,